Hi everyone, this is Lien and welcome back to the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel. Today I'm featuring this amazing Merakulous mini slimline die. I just adore this die, it's incredible, and I will be creating 2 cards with it all at once because actually once you get going with this die you can create multiple cards just by running this through twice, and I'll just show you here what I did. So first of all, I took 2 pieces of paper that would fit this mini slimline, and I also took some stick hit double-sided adhesive. Now I decided to do this beforehand because sometimes when you have these gorgeous panels, finding the time or the patience to add liquid glue all over the back when you want to adhere it is sometimes a bit of a struggle. So I just run this through twice, everything kept in place because of that adhesive. Depending on whatever double-sided adhesive you have, it might completely go through. That's also good, of course, but in my case it rested in 2 pieces. Now the initial idea was to start ink blending those butterflies and then using those inserts from the butterflies and add it to a wide frame. So that was the initial idea, and so I'm using some distress inks today. I am using the Seedless Preserves, Warm Lipstick, and Dried Marigold. Now the paper that I used here is Transotype Perfect Coloring Paper, which is the paper that I mostly use throughout my card making, but there are multiple papers that work great when you want to ink blend. So take whatever you have, grab your favorite distress inks or other inks that you might have, and just have fun ink blending all the way. Now in this case, with these 3 colors, it was a combination that I was inspired by Sarah Zoppi. She's also part of our design team here, and she's incredible. Due to the fact that I'm using distress inks and this paper, I realized that if I want to create this blend that I get today as well, I need to start really light to get that transition in between these colors. And then once I have one layer, I can keep adding on top and on top, just until I'm happy with the amount of color, with the blending, etc. So I just worked my way using some ink blending brushes, some smaller ones, some bigger ones, that really helped me to get into those details without transferring inks on other butterflies or other areas where I didn't want to add ink. So initially here I really focused my ink blending on the insides of the butterflies, so I didn't went all the way all over this panel because I just didn't thought I was going to use them, but later on I will definitely do that. So here just going in a second layer. I can already add a bit more pressure here because the paper is already getting a bit saturated, and that quite often helps with that ink blending. And then I'm just working my way through all 3 of the colors until I'm completely happy with the blending, with the brightness of the color, etc. So here I just keep going until I'm happy, and I don't know about you, but I find ink blending really therapeutic. So I truly enjoyed creating this card. These cards, there are also other mini slimlines because the new release truly had some incredible new products, and I cannot wait to feature it all. So I just had to decide. There was an Instagram hop and a YouTube hop in the beginning of this week to celebrate the new release, so if you haven't seen all of that inspiration, definitely check it out because there is a lot out there. There were a lot of guest designers as well with a completely different style, so there is so much inspiration out there. So here I took my time to get the frame off and just leave the inserts on the paper as much as possible. I also used another backing of this double-sided adhesive to add some inserts that kept inside of the butterflies that I just pushed out, and then I realized that I really love this frame as well, but the edges of my ink blending was really harsh, since I only focused on adding some color in the inserts of the butterfly. So here I'm just taking the leftover ink on my blending brushes to help with that transition between the edges of what I already did and then the white space that I had on this frame. And once I was happy, I had this frame ready to go as well on a mini slimline, and I just loved how this second card turned out without having that in mind as an idea to really do as a card. So that was a really quick card here. And then I actually must admit the second card also ended up a bit different from what I decided I wanted to do. So first of all, I had this extra frame cut out just when it arrived. I wanted to see the beauty of it. And so instead of poking all of the inserts out of that one where I also had the double-sided adhesive in the back, I am showing here just to add some liquid glue. It's an option if you don't have double-sided adhesive. It works perfectly. It just took me a bit of time, but you don't actually need to add adhesive everywhere. You don't need to. A butterfly can be a bit loosey-goosey, but I wanted to use this frame also to help me inlay all of the pieces of these butterflies, and so I really wanted it to be sturdy on top of my card base so that I had all of the areas fixed to add all of the inserts. So once that was adhered, white on white, I must admit, if you love clean and simple, stop here, add a sentiment, add some glitter, you know, add some Meraki sparkle if you want to. That works perfectly because white on white is really gorgeous. I follow a lot of people on Instagram that often create white with gold cards, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So my intentions here were to inlay my ink blended pieces and to let it shine that way. So here the puzzle started. I had a lot of fun adding all of the inserts in there. I love creating puzzles. I do it with my husband here. It has been a while because he's really busy currently with his job. But this was sort of a new way of puzzle making, and it was really a lot of fun. Also really handy that there was already adhesive on every piece of the puzzle here. So I just started inlaying, adding everything where it needed to go. Sometimes it was a bit of a search because of these elements that kept stuck in the butterflies and just were a bit randomly on this piece of paper. But I achieved my end goal. But initially my idea was to just do the inserts of the butterflies and then leave the rest white. And you will see that as well, how that turned out. But then I again saw the leftover pieces that you can now see at the top right of my mat here. And I also loved how that looked because you can still see that there are some butterflies cut out. So I think a third card would work, definitely. Just adding a bit of ink blending again as with the frame, and I was contemplating whether I was going to create a third card. But then I thought, well, just maybe there is a bit too much white for what I normally do. As I said, I love white cards and I love making clean and simple, but these backgrounds were already a bit outside of my comfort zone if you know my style normally, but I just adore this die. And so just to fill it up a bit more, this card, I decided to also add all of these pieces that were left over in between the butterflies, which helped with featuring really those frames and the butterflies outline. So that's why I truly love this positive and negative kind of card, and I still have that other die cut ready to go whenever I want to create another card with this amazing die. So 2 cards, not 3, 2. And then I search for sentiment. I love these panels like they are, but I also just love adding a sentiment. If you don't do that, you have these 2 cards for any occasion you'd like. But I love a sentiment. So I went through my Crafty Meraki products and I found this Love You Mom stamp set. There are 3 gorgeous sentiments in it, and it's sort of, how do you call it? It's a reversed kind of sentiment. You have a black outline and then the white sentiment in the black, and I just love it. It's kind of bold. You can also do it with a colored ink if you want to match it with the card that you already created. That's definitely an option. But I just wanted to have a black, kind of white on black sentiment, really simple, and it always goes, of course, on a card. So I just took my scissors and I went all around. I didn't leave a white border. Later on I will also run these sentiment strips over my ink pad so that also the edges are completely black. You can also use a marker if you want to, or you can run it like I did over the ink pad. And that gave me 3 sentiments, which I tried all of them on top of my panels to see what I like most. The third one that I am not using today is the Love You. That one I will be using in a video in the future for another card that I created, so that will be back. So I decided to go with the Can't Wait to See You sentiment. It's the bigger one, and I'm going to add it to the lightest card. And then the smaller one, Miss You, I will add to the other one. You can add both sentiments at the same place. If you love the placing of sentiments, you can always redo that on another card. I decided to go another way and just add it in the diagonal other corner of my card to show you that there are multiple ways to add sentiments. Just do whatever you like. And then, of course, if you want to, you can add embellishments, you can add glitter, you can add glossy accents even. But I decided to keep these cards as they are. They are incredible just because of this Merakulous mini slimline die that was released on Monday during the Merakiversary. Incredible release, definitely check it out. It is just gorgeous and you will love it as well if you haven't seen it yet. So these are my 2 cards for today. I planned on making 1 and I ended up making 2, and I could continue like this. It is so much fun. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope that you enjoyed it and got inspired, and I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!